Hello, everybody, and welcome to HG Movie Talk. I am Fluffy Duffy, once again joined here with my co-host, Dean's Beans.
Hello, Fluffy Duffy. I'm a good old fashion London. Hi, you right?
I tried finding a different co-host for today, but it just didn't work out. I'm sorry. Not to you. I'm sorry to the listeners having to
Well,
go
I
through
I
that.
tried to find someone to take my place today because I didn't really want to talk to you, and I
Okay,
couldn't
that's
find
fair.
anyone. Find anyone that wanted to talk to you. So here we are. But
Wow, yeah, that was even that one was a better burn.
yeah, we got the bad news out of the way early. On to the good news, which is we've seen Spider-Man: No Way Home.
We have seen Spider-Man No Way Home, and today is a news and reviews episode where we talk about news and reviews, but we're really just going to talk about one review for today.
Yes, and that's Spider-Man: No Way Home. This is probably something we should have discussed beforehand. But should we just do only spoilers and tell everyone else to get out of here, or are we doing?
Well, let's give a spoiler-free review.
Okay,
It's
this
good.
movie is good. Now get out of here.
Yeah, now get out.
Hit the road, Jack.
um, yeah. I mean, this is coming out on Tuesday. If you haven't seen the movie by now, what are you doing?
I mean, some countries don't have it, unfortunately.
Oh, if
So
you're
people
in a country that has it,
then get a plane ride out of there. I don't
yeah.
care if you need to get smuggled out of the country or what. Just get out of there. Anyway, oh, yeah, just get out of it. I'm sure you've stopped listening because I'm going to spoil this movie real soon. So if you're not out of it by then it's your own fault. Okay, 3, 2, 1. I
Aunt
can.
May dies.
Oh, okay. I was trying to think of a joke spoiler, but I couldn't think of one.
Nope, they stuck around. They're just so mad now.
Yeah, it's your own fault. We did warn them.
Yeah, you're like, hey, we're gonna spoil the movie. There have been people on my videos where I'm like, spoilers, spoilers, and they're like, I dropped my phone and I couldn't swipe away from the video, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but that is not my fault.
Well, I messaged you to warn you this, but people have literally just been. I've commented. I think the exact quote people have commented on multiple of one of my. One guy replied to every single comment on my TikTok saying, "Aunt May dies and all 3 Spider-Men are in it," and he just replied to every single comment on this
Oh my
TikTok with that
god.
phrase, and that's what I messaged Hannah. And I was like, "Don't look at comments." Because I'd seen it by this point. I did you get it spoiled beforehand? Anything?
Nope.
Was anything spoiled for you? Interesting.
No, I was very cautious. I put like 25 comment filters. I turn off all my notifications. I took my like
Oh yeah,
TikTok
I know you
folder.
turned off all your notifications.
Yeah, I was late to the podcast today, guys. Um, I have like a social media folder
Yeah.
and I moved it all the way to like the back of my phone so I couldn't just like accidentally click one open and spoil something.
Yeah.
I didn't go on TikTok at all. I just posted my daily video, and then just like didn't do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And I avoided spoilers.
Okay. So how are we talking about this movie? What are we doing here?
Um, I would say like let's talk about the good and the bad,
And then
but
try and improve it. But
there's no bad.
okay. Well, we'll get to that. Why don't
Is there bad?
Oh, I remember you saying this is a bad movie, so I wrote down a list of things that I don't like about this movie, which I will read out to you later.
Okay.
I really like this movie though. Yeah, just let's give our thoughts on this movie. Why don't you go first?
Okay. How about this? Where does this fall in your Spider-Man ranking?
Second, I think,
Second to.
Spider-Verse.
Mm,
And is your first?
it's still like floating in between a bunch of them, and I
I
think
might,
like
yeah.
I
I'm
think
tempted to put it third, but for now I'm too scared because I know if I said that on TikTok, people will not be happy with me.
so. I'm kind of just waiting for like the hype to settle down for me, and
Yeah,
like look at it objectively in like the next couple months or so.
yeah, I know what you mean, definitely, because Well, so I posted a TikTok where I said this is my favorite movie that I've watched every month of the year. And obviously, I then named 12 movies. And for December, I put the favorite movie I've watched this year is Spider-Verse. And literally every single comment was, "Oh, you think Spider-Verse better than No Way Home? You're wrong." That was every
I
single comment on that video.
I did think that when I saw that video.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just like, is that everyone's takeaway here? It's I don't think it's I mean, like, maybe it's better, but I don't think it's yeah, do you know what I mean?
I know
I
what
think they're similar playing fields of movies. Anyway, we're not here to talk about this.
you mean. Well, let's start off in the beginning of the movie. Let's start off with the things that are awesome in the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
I have one specific thing in mind.
Me too.
Oh my God, are we thinking the same thing?
Okay, should we say it when we
Yeah.
go 3, 2, 1, go?
Yeah.
3.
3.
I say after 1. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just to
Wait, do you say go?
No, we won't say go. Just 3, 2, 1, and then
Okay.
I'll say Daredevil because that's what I'm gonna say. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Daredevil.
Happy Hogan.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in that. Just kidding.
That was a quick subversion of expectations there. Just like, can't think of any subversion of expectations that happened in this movie.
Aunt May's death.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I love Daredevil, and I really enjoyed this inclusion. I think it works if you don't know who the character is.
Yep.
Because you're like, oh, who's that guy, and that's kind of it. Just because they added the extra layer of him catching the brick, I think that's just a cool way to go. Oh, we live in a superhero world, and everyone's got superpowers. When it's just, oh, he caught a brick, and he's like, oh, I'm a really good lawyer, and that's just it. And that's the last we see of this random blind guy.
Dude, I wish we got like a little bit more of
Me
that
too.
back.
Me too. I wasn't expecting to see him suit up, but something I thought about his appearance was it was weird seeing him exist in the MCU quip world, because like Happy Hogan was just sitting there doing classic MCU humor, and then he was just sitting on the other side of the table. And I'm like, this isn't what I'm used to with this character. But like, it wasn't
yeah,
like
definitely.
it wasn't a bad thing.
Right.
But
It was just like a different tone.
Yeah,
From the
and
grittiness.
if they like kept that tone for everything he's in now, and then he starts making quips like that, then I probably would be a bit like, why are you doing this, mate?
I don't think it will be.
No, I don't think it will either. But that was good. It was a good inclusion.
Yeah.
Good on them.
So
were you
what
surprised
else?
to see him?
Yes, and like I was like expecting it, but like wasn't like ride or die on it. Like
I think I
were.
was a lot more hesitant on this one than I was on Andrew and Toby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
and
that one seemed a lot more like this one seemed a lot more like out of left field. Like
yeah, and like I feel like I might have had the biggest reaction to this one in the cinema because I did a little squeal. The cane came down on screen, and I was like, literally the cane, and I full on like jumped. I jumped in my seat, and I was like, oh, it's Daredevil.
Seeing this movie in theaters might have been one of the coolest experiences of my life. Like seeing it like opening night.
See, I think the reactions from the audience was better personally for me when I went to watch Endgame.
Well, I mean, to be fair, this movie means a lot more to me than Endgame. This is my Endgame.
This is my Endgame.
So where can we get? What things can we talk about that happen after the Daredevil scene, but not before that whole Ned?
Here's an idea. Scene. In my YouTube review, I did it where I talked about all the characters individually. Do you want to just try that as a way to talk about this entire movie?
Yeah, let's go for that.
I'll just shout a character into the ether, and then we give our thoughts.
Okay.
And we just did Daredevil. Any more Charlie Cox thoughts? What do you want to see him in next?
It would be cool if he showed up in Hawkeye. I think he might in an end credit scene.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool to see him in She-Hulk.
Because she's better show up in She-Hulk.
Yeah. And I think the expectation is he'll be an Echo.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. But just show me his face whenever. He had shorter hair in this, which I was a bit like, whoa, what's going on with your hair, mate? But
Well, he is balding.
is he?
Yeah.
So's Chris Evans. They just give him a wig every time. They give him a wig, people.
Chris Evans is not balding.
Well, no, his hairline is receding, and he has said that.
Oh, but no, Charlie Cox is straight up.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Next character I will name is Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
I really liked him in this.
So did I. I think this is his best appearance as
Definitely.
Spider-Man, without a doubt. And I feel, yeah, he had strong emotional moments, and he actually had kind of an arc. And I have issues. I feel like he did annoy me a bit early on in the movie. Where
Tom Holland?
Yeah, like before, I think a big thing I will say. Actually, no, yeah, big thing. I think this movie like does a 360 after Aunt May's death. And I feel like before Aunt May's death, it's not as good movie. Like it's still a good movie, but I enjoy it a lot more from that point onwards.
Well, I feel like if we look at it like as first half and second half, which I think it basically is.
Yeah.
I mean, the first half is very similar to the first two Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
It's just two different tones. I don't think necessarily. I don't think one is necessarily better than the other. I think one is more intriguing than the other because it has a lot of character motivation and it's like really well done. But the other one, it's like you can't have it as well done because it's so many big moments for so many characters. And it's like, I don't know if that makes sense. But
Aunt May did only die because Peter didn't want to go. Peter didn't want his friends to go to community college. It's not a complaint. I just think it's quite funny. I think it's quite funny.
Well, who really liked whose favorite Aunt May was Marissa Tomei?
That's true. I think she's the worst of the three. Still, even after seeing this, I think she's my least favorite.
Yeah, me too.
Including Spider-Verse, I quite like that one. Or maybe not.
No, I like her better.
That's interesting. I do like the Spider-Verse Aunt May though, because she's got cool moments and she's a bit of a badass. Okay. I feel like I was going to say something else about him.
Oh, what do you feel about his suits?
His suits. Okay, let's go through them one by one. He has the inside out suit. I think it's called the black and gold suit. Pretty sick. I quite like it. I feel like for that suit specifically, the CGI wasn't as great in some moments. In the woods, in the dark, I was a bit. It's only on a second view.
Yeah. I mean, it was. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
And then you have the integrated suit, which I really like. Which I think's it's cool detail, and I like he gets shot in the gold there and nothing happens. That's a cool little detail.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and then I just give us a better look at his suit at the end. I think
I wish we got like a really because I love that. That's literally like looking at that suit. That's like my dream suit. Like that's sick.
It should have ended with him a shot landing somewhere and looking.
Yeah. But I mean, they probably did that for a specific. Well, why didn't they do that?
Maybe because they're like, we want to polish this suit up because it's going to look different in the next movie, at least a little bit, isn't it? Because the suits rarely stay the same. I don't know why they didn't give us a good look at it.
Whatever.
Okay, and any more suit thoughts? We of course got the Far From Home suit and the Iron Spider suit as well, but
no.
No. Yeah. Okay. Next character, I will go with MJ.
MJ, I think it was cool that they gave her the last name Watson.
Yeah. It's quite funny how they go in the first movie. She's Michelle. Second movie, MJ Jones. This movie, MJ Watson. Next movie is going to turn out she is Mary Jane.
Well, it wasn't MJ Jones.
Well, no, it was MJ. Yeah, that's true. but it just keeps they're changing it every now and then to.
Yeah, just tweaking it to make it a little bit better. But she isn't probably going to be in the next movie, or at
Well,
least that
we'll
much.
see, won't we?
Well, yeah, I guess we will.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like her characterization changes slightly every movie as well.
Yes,
Because I think
definitely.
when you look at her in this compared to her in Homecoming, they do feel like two very different characters.
And which I think kind of makes sense given how like
Yeah. But then like even this and Far From Home, I don't know. I'm not saying it's somewhat inconsistent, but not like takes you out of the movie going, oh, who is this? Do you know what I mean?
right, and it doesn't really make sense because Far From Home and No Way Home are so close together.
Yeah.
Um, but she is a lot more like happy and like I don't know.
She's slowly turning more into just your superhero girlfriend, I think. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. However, I did like her more
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
one. I felt like in Homecoming, in my opinion, in Homecoming, she didn't really work.
It's interesting.
And then in Far From Home, I liked her more.
I feel like Far From Home's might be my favorite because there's like an awkwardness to it, which I found really endearing.
Yeah, there wasn't much awkwardness between them in this.
Yeah, but like you're at that point where there wouldn't be. Do you know what I mean? Like I think there was awkwardness between Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield in The Amazing Spider-Man, and then in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I mean, I guess there is still some awkwardness there, but it's besides the point. Okay, Ned.
I really like Ned in this.
Ned is a consistently good character.
Yeah, I think. I think this might be my favorite Ned.
It's interesting. I might go Homecoming or this
because he not only had like a lot of good quotes, but like I don't know, he felt like a lot more important to the story.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, he can do magic now.
Yeah.
Which is funny when you consider how long it took Doctor Strange to figure out how to open those portals.
Yeah. Dude, he could be Sorcerer Supreme.
So I was like, well, yeah, Doctor Strange can't be, so may as well be him. Okay, now we've talked about MJ and Ned, I think it's a good opportunity to talk about their ending in this movie.
There's been a lot of, to the people who are saying that the ending of Spider-Man isn't good, they need to grow up. Because, oh, sorry, I might be getting, it's just because you don't want to see Spider-Man leave his friends behind.
Yeah. I really, really love it as an ending. Because I think it's a perfect way to do a soft reboot.
Perfect way to do a soft reboot. And
because like everyone complains about this character is that he's got too much tech. Even before Far From Home came out, I remember people going, "Oh, too many people know his identity," because there was the bit in Endgame where he just tells Captain Marvel his identity and just walks around without a mask on the battlefield of thousands of people. Well, not thousands, but and that was, and he's got too much money. He can just go to Doctor Strange or Tony Stark or Nick Fury whenever he wants help with something. They were like the three main complaints about this character. And
now he can't do any of that.
Now they're all cancelled out, and he's just starting his own thing. And I think it's a great way to differentiate between trilogies if they're doing another trilogy.
Right, definitely. But I think it's going to be interesting what they do with his like friend group. Like if they give him like a new cast of friends.
They're going to bring in Harry and Gwen or Black Cat or.
But when he sees, like, if Osborn never comes back into the limelight in that universe, he's gonna be like, nope.
Well, yeah, no, exactly. So if Harry Osborn, Gwen Stacy, Norman Osborn, any of them show up, he's gonna be like, oh, maybe not. Do you know what I mean?
Well, to be fair, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man didn't say anything to Peter about Gwen.
No, he did say Gwen's name. On the rooftop, he went Gwen. And then he went, my MJ, when they were talking about who died. So he did say Gwen's name. And you don't know what conversations happened off screen as well and all that sort of thing.
Right, okay. That's fair.
And then the other thing is, he's been warned about evil black goo from space. So how's that going to work? How's that going to work when he gets his... when they eventually go Venom with him. Is he going to be like, oh, I'm going to stay away from that?
They better. Should
Yeah,
totally do that.
that's what I thought. I before watching this movie, I remember making a joke that all three Spider-Men should sit down with each other and give a pep talk, and one of them's like, okay, if there's like if you meet a girl called Gwen, just keep her away from like your best friend Harry, and then oh yeah, stay away from Harry and stay away from Black Goo and stay away from anyone called Norman Osborn, Otto Octavius. And just give each other a rundown of, oh yeah, stay away from Kurt Connors, and Tobey Maguire's like, okay, thanks, I will. And just
Okay, should we talk about the villains or the heroes first from the other universes?
I say heroes, but do you want to talk about May quickly?
Oh yeah, May. Um,
We did
I liked her
briefly.
in this.
It's a very good death. The second she said the line, I knew she was about to die.
The moment I saw her getting up, I was like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah, and then the second she went with great power, she's definitely dead.
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
definitely dead.
goner. Goner.
And I think it worked well to continue the story, and it was sad and it was well done. I just think it would have worked better if she was utilized better in the previous Spider-Man movies, which isn't a complaint about this movie, just as the trilogy as a whole.
How would you feel if like it was revealed that Uncle Ben wasn't dead in this universe?
That would actually be really cool.
I feel like that's what they might do.
That's interesting because I was waiting. Something that did annoy me slightly about this movie is they keep mentioning Uncle Ben, and the entire time Tom just stands there and just doesn't say anything.
Right. When Peter's like, my Uncle Ben died, he's like, oh, your Uncle Ben died.
Yeah, because he's never like, oh yeah, mine too. Clearly, at least at the very least, his Uncle Ben wasn't killed in a shooting that was his fault.
Right.
I think you can make that assumption about this Spider-Man.
I mean, it's easy to assume he might be dead because
he's not there.
Right.
And they've got like his old suitcase and stuff in the house.
Right. Who knows?
It'd be cool if he did come back, but would he? Yeah. Would he know?
But he wouldn't even know who Peter is.
I'm not sure. I'm a bit unsure on how that spell worked.
Well, from my knowledge, HC Joe has gone like crazy about this. But from my knowledge, it is in that universe, nobody remembers who Peter Parker is.
Yeah.
But they remember who Spider-Man is.
But then does he have like a driver's license? Does he have a passport? Has all the physical evidence of his existence disappeared? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think.
Well, clearly not, because he's still got like the Lego Emperor and stuff like that. So if his possessions like that still exist, then how come all the evidence to prove he's Spider-Man disappeared?
I don't think Sony thought that far.
We do. Okay, let's go heroes. Doctor Strange and Wong.
Doctor Strange is good. I liked how like MJ found like goatee dyeing.
Yeah.
Thing.
Oh, in the post-credit scene, he had such a strong goatee.
Yeah.
One bit when he went to see Wanda, I was like, that man.
That man is dying.
I really like the idea of Wong being the Sorcerer Supreme, and that's not because I'm the world's biggest Wong fan. Do you know what I mean?
You probably are.
I feel like it's a good way to do it.
It is. I mean, it's funny.
Yeah. Do you think that Doctor Strange was acting a bit out of character here?
No.
I think he was a little bit. I didn't, when I watched the trailer and everyone was saying that, I was like, I don't agree. And then I watched this, I'm like, maybe he kind of is.
I am not a part of the rumor that like Doctor Strange is somebody else.
I don't think he's somebody else. I just think he was just acting weird. I think they like mischaracterized him a bit.
I think maybe they mischaracterized, but like when we went out to the theaters, my friend that I saw it with was like, "Oh my god, that isn't Doctor Strange talking at somebody else." Blah 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 blah.
No. I think it's Doctor Strange. I just think they might have done a weird job. So my examples. Number one, Doctor Strange. What are you doing? Just starting the spell without explaining it first. You know what I mean? He should
Yeah,
have sat down with Peter and gone like, "Oh, Peter, so who do you want to remember that you're Spider-Man?" Instead of going, "Okay, let's just do this right now." Do you know what I mean? It's just
yeah,
that's a big If we're talking about like plot details, which are nuisances, I think that's quite high up on the list of him just going, "Oh, let's just do the spell." You know, no like warning, nothing. It's just halfway through the spell, he's like, "Oh, you can't tell me to change it during the spell." It's just a
yeah.
bit.
And he could have gone like, all right, and before I do this, just making sure like, what did the school say when you contacted them?
Yeah, yeah, he could have said he could have just sit down and have a conversation with him instead of going, let's go into the basement and do some magic. Let's just brainwash. He's like, oh, you didn't like ask the school before brainwashing making me brainwash the entire planet. He didn't tell Peter anything before brainwashing the entire planet. I think there'd be a good good convo before then. It's just as MJ said, I hate magic. Just complicates. He could have. Do you know what he could have done? He should have just phoned Pepper Potts and been like, "Hey Pepper, like Tony Stark is the most famous MIT student ever. Can you just contact MIT and get us all places there? Thanks, Pepper. Bye."
Yeah,
Like,
whatever.
yeah, it's just the small details that you need to make the plot go along. That just I'm sitting here now going like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Um. Okay. Do you have anything else to say about Doctor Strange and Wong?
The other moment is I think Scooby Doo this crap is a bad line.
But Scooby Doo this.
Oh
Shit.
yeah, Scooby Doo this shit, isn't it? They changed it for the trailer. Still a bit,
So,
I'm a bit like, what's that even mean? Does he watch Scooby Doo?
well, I mean, it kind of makes sense because like the
Yeah,
gang,
yeah.
but that's a
That's another nitpick from me. Okay. What other superheroes in this movie? Um. There's Daredevil. Oh, we already talked about Daredevil. There's Captain America's mentioned. Um. I remember the big one. Andrew Garfield. To be honest, that was such a good reveal, wasn't it? When the portal opened and you saw those big eyes on Andrew Garfield's suit, that was such a good reveal.
that's not the big one.
Do you not think that was I think that was the cooler reveal out of the two. Do you know what I mean, though?
Well, yeah, obviously, because one came on screen in their costume.
Okay,
And
I have a statement for you. Let's see if you agree with this. Andrew Garfield is the most talented actor out of the three Spider-Men. Because I think he is, and I think this movie does a good job showing that.
yes, however, Tobey Maguire is shat on for not being like the best actor, but he's had some pretty good movies.
I'm not saying any of them are bad actors. I think maybe Toby's better than Tom because we haven't seen Tom really test it. I haven't seen all of his movies, but we haven't seen Tom in a very dramatic role yet.
I haven't seen Cherry.
No, but they're supposed to be crap. No, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and just in this movie, Andrew Garfield has the ability just to start crying on a dime. Do you know what I mean? There's a couple moments where he just starts crying immediately. I'm like, how did he do that? What's good? He's just so good. And then there's yeah.
Andrew Garfield, when that happened, I screamed so loud when Andrew came on screen. So loud.
It's because it's the portal very briefly open. You just see the eyes and you kind of go, "What's that?" Do you know what I mean? Like the first time,
yeah,
because it's so brief. You're like, "Did I see that correctly?" And then he slowly starts walking towards the camera, and you're like, "Oh!" And he is a very attractive man. That's all I'm saying. That's just...
Oh my god. Okay, I'm just gonna talk broadly about both of them.
Okay.
They could have done like what they did with Matt Murdock. Like have him on screen, give a few quips, like that's it. But they actually made these people characters that came into the movie, and like development was
Andrew had an arc.
Yeah.
I don't. Toby didn't. I'm not saying it's like a complaint about Toby. I think they gave Andrew an arc because his movies were left unresolved. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and because like They gave Andrew an arc because there was an uncompleted arc.
Yeah, exactly. Because his story was unresolved. He had that arc, and I think it worked really well. And the moment he's just such a good actor when he's there and he's like, "Oh, I stopped pulling my punches."
It was when he was talking about that, he was referring to things we haven't seen, right?
Yes, yes. Which is interesting
Okay.
because they didn't. I found it interesting they just didn't mention anything that's happened in like what like the 10 or 15 years it's been since we last seen Toby. Do you know what I mean? Like they
Right.
act like nothing interesting happened over that time. So, oh, what's the most interesting thing you thought? Andrew's like, oh, a big rhino guy. Do you think he's just what happened to the Sinister Six in that world?
Right.
Did he just walk into that basement and then it just collapsed onto him or something?
Well, to be fair, if he asked them that and they said something we haven't seen, that would have been a little bit like, okay, like that's cool.
Well, they could have done it in a cool way. They could have like gone, oh, it was like a vampire or something like that.
The first time I saw the movie, when they were all sitting there on the scaffolding,
Yeah.
I was so distracted by Andrew holding the pipe like this.
Yeah, like you're like, oh, it's
because I'm like, oh my god, that's the leak. That's the leak.
And then they actually said the line that came in the leak as well, which is about the webbing, which was the moment we all knew was coming when you go 3 Spider-Men, you go, oh, let them discuss Toby's weird webbing.
That was so funny.
The bit I really appreciated was the back. I was like,
yes.
such a mean reference. Imagine going, hey Toby, remember when you really badly hurt your back? Let's make fun of that for a minute.
Well, I'm sure Toby was all down for that to make it like a talk about that.
Well, interestingly, is it Spider-Man? Yeah, Spider-Man 2 where he goes, ow, my back when he gets up. Apparently that was in the movie before he injured his back and everything.
Supposedly.
Yeah, which is interesting. I don't know. Yes, just all I want to know is what are they doing with them now? Because it was weird that they didn't get like a proper farewell. Do you know what I mean?
The fact that they didn't kill Toby.
Yeah. Did you think he was going to die?
I did. Because thinking about this, what reason did they have not to kill him?
Honestly, when he got stabbed, I think my first thought would have been, Harlan, what's he doing right now in the cinema?
I was crying.
I know, that's what I thought. I was like, Harlan is so sobbing in the cinema right now. But I thought he was dead as well. When he got stabbed, I was like excited. I was like, they're doing something cool.
But I was so surprised he didn't kill him.
But it makes me think, what when? So I think like the next Endgame is going to bring in like Hugh Jackman and Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. And they'll do like Secret Wars.
But Hugh Jackman doesn't want to come back.
I don't know how much money they're going to offer him.
Hugh Jackman's like, I don't know. I would be very surprised if Hugh Jackman came back as Wolverine.
But we don't know. Like the next Endgame might be in like 5-8 years.
That's true.
Hugh
Jackman would be like 70.
It's weird because like in Spider-Verse, you have the scene at the end where Peter B. Parker goes and knocks on Mary Jane's door. Or well, he does the webbing on the doorbell. And I was expecting something like that. Honestly, when this movie ended, I think in my mind, I was so hyped up that I had convinced myself the best case scenario was going to happen because all I wanted this movie to end with was Andrew Garfield will return in The Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Dude, I was wanting things like that too. Like I was waiting for the after credit scene to be like the Spider-Man will return or like something like that.
So,
but then it was just a trailer.
I know you haven't watched it, but currently I'm posting what my dream post No Way Home Spider-Man pictures. And so at time of recording, I've released part 1, which is basically my pitch for if they made The Amazing Spider-Man 3 now. And then my next one is going to be Raimi Spider-Man 4. And then my next pitch is Spider-Man 4 with Holland.
Well, I'm not gonna watch your videos because I am planning on doing that same exact thing. And I don't want to I have trouble when I hear other people's thoughts.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Developing my own personal thoughts.
I get what you mean. Do you think they're going to be in Doctor Strange 2?
No.
Do you not? The one thing that I'm just thinking, Sam Raimi's doing it though. Do you know what I mean? That's what. Do you think if they offered Sam Raimi the opportunity to direct Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, do you think he'd turn it down? Do you know what I mean? Is that something? he would be like, I really wanna. Are you looking at your curtain that fell down like 5 minutes ago?
Yeah.
There you go,
It's
Clark.
fine. I'm not gonna fix it. It's too much work.
Yeah, I feel like because the thing, so there was someone, I think it might have been Kevin Feige or someone recently, was asked about the Doctor Strange 2 reshoots, which are still currently happening, I think. And they said it was to make, we had so much fun doing multiverse stuff in No Way Home that we've added these to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness to like, to add more characters, introduce more characters and add more multiverse weirdness. That was like something like that was the quote. There's your news for this week, folks.
Yeah.
So that makes me
News.
think maybe they're adding Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire.
Or maybe they're acting like they're adding like Chris Evans as the flaming as a Human Torch, or
I think we're definitely going to get. I don't think it'll be Hugh Jackman. I think we're going to get James McAvoy in it. I don't know why that's my thought, but I just have a strong feeling we're getting James McAvoy as Professor X.
I feel like that would make the most sense because I feel like he could sense multiversal.
Yeah, and like he could do cool stuff with Wanda and
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I love James McAvoy.
And the thing is, if you put, so let's say they go, yeah, we'll have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. You could put them in the trailer for like a couple seconds. I feel like you could do that, and it would like make the movie a lot more hyped, and will make the movie more money.
Yeah, they can't do it for a while though.
Yeah, I feel like you could do a shot of them or like anything like that, and you go, "Oh,
Yeah.
Spider-Man's in this," and that will get people more likely to go watch it. Like if you look how much money this movie is making now, it had the 3rd biggest box office ever.
Yeah. It's crazy how much money this movie's making.
Yeah, especially COVID.
Yeah, like literally, like theaters are still packed in my hometown.
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy.
I went to what? Yeah, I'll be watching it again soon, and I was looking for tickets. Like, oh, they're pretty. But do you know what I mean? Like they could do if they're doing Doctor Strange 2 weirdness. I feel like I don't know. I feel like just the fact that Sam Raimi's doing it makes me think maybe he's gonna want to direct Tobey Maguire again. Maybe they want that reunion.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Imagine if they use that movie to set up Spider-Man 4 or the Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Dude, if they're able to like bring back like if they had like 3 different Spider-Man franchises running at the same time, that'd be so
What if
cool.
that's the next trilogy? The Amazing Spider-Man 3, Raimi's Spider-Man 4, and then Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4.
That'd be so confusing.
I feel like audiences are ready for it though.
Well, we're ready for it, but I don't think the casual viewer would be like, oh, I'm gonna go see Spider-Man 4, then Spider-Man 3, and then Spider-Man 4 again.
I feel like you could. I just think we're getting 3 Batman next, 3 different actors playing Batman all in 2022.
That's true, but 2 are in the same movie.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like you could. I mean, just needs a bit of clever marketing, you know.
That's true.
I think audience are much. I feel like they'd handle it if they did it in a intelligent way.
I love how like Sony, in like the first couple No Way Home posters, they knew Green Goblin was a huge part of the movie, so they needed him on the poster, but like they didn't want to give him away too much, so they just put him really far in the background.
It's so dumb.
So dumb. But oh my god, Green Goblin in this movie.
Should we move on to villains?
Oh.
Let's go.
Yeah, I can't promise I won't go back to Toby.
I know you will, but that's why the only reason I said do heroes before villains is because I know we're not going to be able to talk about the heroes without you going, do you know the bit where Toby talked to Doc Ock?
Dude, oh my god, the freaking
Wow.
Been
You
trying better.
Apologize for me when you swear. I don't.
When like the Doc Ock and Spider-Man scene.
Yeah. It's when it's how many times in this movie does Alfred Molina go, the power of the sun in the palm of my hands. And then he says it, and then Tobey Maguire finishes it, and we're like, nice.
And Toby was like, I really liked him in this. Probably like a little bit better acting than like some things in Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Like that Avengers line. That was funny.
That's good. That was good comedy, and it was like his kind of dumb comedy as well. Like it, I remember asking you a few weeks ago, probably on this podcast, and I went, "Oh, do you think they're going to do MCU quips or like Maguireisms?" And they kind of did a bit of both.
Yeah.
But like that was, I thought that was very like in character for him, where he's like just so happy, he's just a bit goofy. I think is what I'm going for.
Yeah, and even Garfield, he had like very much TASM quips.
Yeah. Yeah. My favorite, honest, I think my favorite joke in this movie was when Electro made the comment about, oh, I thought Spider-Man was going to be black.
That was funny.
But which opens up the question, Electro didn't know that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. How did he end up there?
Well, you're right.
We watched The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and he doesn't find out, does he?
I don't think he does.
No. Oh, he does, but it's before, I think. Oh, no. I don't know. I don't think he does.
I don't think he does.
No, he doesn't, because he dies before he could realize. So why is he there?
Why is he there? Should be interesting to see which one of us makes a video about this first.
I don't want to HZ Joe commenting the answer.
Oh, do you know one thing that before we go on the villains, one thing I'm going to make a video on probably once we finish this podcast?
What's that?
How cool it was how like when Peter was wearing a suit under the Iron Spider suit.
It's the same as...
No, because it's
No.
like super wrinkly.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And even like his shirt when they're in the Sanctum Sanctorium afterwards is super wrinkly.
Yeah, that's cool.
I thought that was really cool because like I've always like wondered while they're doing like Iron Man stuff, when Tony Stark gets out of his Iron Man suits, his suit should not be looking fly.
Oh, he has added features to make him look good coming out of that suit. 100%. He doesn't care when it's for Spider-Man. But he's like, oh, let's add some heaters here just so I can quickly iron the shirt. I can be Iron Man. Okay, here's a good way to continue the villain conversation.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the action scenes. Do you want to talk about the Doc Ock versus Spider-Man highway scene?
That one was really well done. I was a little taken aback by how larger Doc Ock's arms were.
I think, and then I think this is, if we're talking the returning villains, I think this one's a bit weaker for me. Just because the arms felt so CGI to me.
Yeah.
I feel like you're right about how big he feels, and I think there's like a weightlessness to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? When they're real, when they were like puppets, you could really feel it. And later on in the movie, I think the Raimi action as a whole is better than the Holland action. I should say the Watts action, like
yes.
in Homecoming and Far From Home, and it's so brutal. Like at the end of Spider-Man 1. Like Tobey Maguire basically just is close to the brink of death, and you don't see we haven't seen anything like that since, really. Apart like after the Raimi trilogy of someone just getting beaten that much, and I feel like this scene didn't really capture that kind of like action, because it did feel like when he picked up the concrete pipes and threw it, and like picks up cars and throws it, it just felt weightless.
Yeah,
and kind of nowhere. But I enjoyed how like outclassed Peter was for most of it.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed the ending of that fight scene.
Yeah. Yeah. And I enjoy him. Alfred Molina is just great.
Yeah.
He's so good.
There was a couple lines he delivered where I was like a little bit like,
Can you think of any? I think there's one. Is it when he goes, "We tire of your questions, boy"?
Well, yeah, that one, and he goes like, "What is this? What's happening? What is this madness?"
Oh yeah, and then he also goes, "Who the hell are these two?" When MJ and Ned come in.
Some of the lines he delivers in that like little cage thing, I'm a little bit
Yeah. But he's just he's a great actor, and
especially once he's back to Otto Octavius, and
he's like, "My dear boy, you've grown so much."
I
really like some of his moments as like just being miserable Doc Ock as well, of him being like, "Unhand me, boy."
Well, here's a good way we can rank these. Do we prefer this character in their original movie or in this one?
I think I prefer him in this movie because he does more talking here. But if we're talking about like action or anything like that, I prefer Spider-Man 2.
I prefer Spider-Man 2, like in general.
Okay. I'm not sure. I like
In regards to Odd Octavius.
I think what I really like here is that the fact that the Raimi trilogy takes place in a very cartoonish and comic booky world, where like the MCU for the most part is like quite grounded with the way the characters act and that sort of thing. So I think I really enjoyed seeing him still be that really comic booky like supervillain in this, while Tom Holland's like, I don't really get what's going on. And I feel like I prefer that dynamic to Maguire and Otto in Spider-Man 2. And I think that's why I say I prefer that one. Because it's like, yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I had more fun watching him in this because I just feel like there's something really just him just grumbling the entire time and just locked up. I enjoyed most of.
I mean, I did not enjoy it, but I liked. I feel it's like his character was just like. It just felt more grounded because it was in that whole world. So I don't know.
I did enjoy like one moment which I'm like, this guy's so good when he's like, you're flying out there to fight ghosts. I'm like, this guy's so dramatic and I love it. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, Willem Dafoe. I prefer him in this, I think.
Yeah, he is way better in this than he was in Spider-Man, which is a lot to say because he's really good in Spider-Man.
Yeah, because one thing I think you see a lot more of Norman in this. And like, it's a big step down when you think about at the start of the movie, he's just the massive CEO. And then in this movie, he's like stealing pastries from a homeless shelter.
That was interesting. I don't know why they did that.
No, that element kind of took me out of it. But I liked just like how cowardly he was and like how just like confused and like he was like an old man with dementia. I really liked the characterization there. And then the brilliant scene of Tom Holland's spider sense going off.
Oh my god. And the scene that continued after that.
Yeah, and just him walking into the room and then Willem Dafoe just doing his laugh and just I think the best action scene in the movie is the bit that comes next when Green Goblin just wrecks the place.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean when I was like, that is like Raimi action. And that's why it's so good, because you're like, oh, this is almost as good as what Sam Raimi did, and that's the best action in the movie.
And if it's so good because like Peter should have like killed him. Just like in that apartment, because he was beating the snot out of him.
Well, no, that's the thing. It's interesting to think that like in his solo, like Peter is just so put off because he's never fought anyone like that in his solo movies. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just normal people in clever suits, and like even like Thanos, all these characters have like a sanity to them, but this is just a deranged. It's like he's like Joker in this.
He is like Joker, but a little bit better.
Yeah. I'm just saying like a deranged guy who you just can't predict and just wants pain and chaos. That's all he's trying to cause in this.
Right.
That's all, and then it's the bit where he's up on the shoulders and just punching him, and then he's just laughing, and then you just look, and Tom is like, "What is going on?" And then he just gets thrown through like floor after floor after floor after floor.
Oh my god!
It's just because Tom is completely just never faced anything like that before, and like because Willem Dafoe is actually, well, I was about to say Willem Dafoe is actually super powered, but I don't think he is. Green Goblin is actually
probably down under.
Oh. But it's just he's amazing in this, and he might now be my favorite Spider-Man villain. I'm not sure.
And it's done so because honestly I would like the two Green Goblins, this one and the one from the original Spider-Man movie, are like almost completely different.
Yeah.
And Willem Dafoe is like, it's so well done because like Tom trusts him.
Yeah. And that's what happens kind of with the first movie, and that's why it works so well.
Right.
Because you still kind of have that moment. Do you know what I mean?
And did you see my video about like the
teeth?
Big set of teeth, the teeth.
Yeah.
I was very surprised I don't know, they did that.
Now, here's an interesting one to talk about. Electro. Just not mentioning the new look. I mean, they mentioned the new look quite a few times.
But they don't ever address it.
Never go on because he's like, I like who I am in this new world. I've grown up. This electricity? His superpowers do some crazy shit because they like fix the gap in his teeth originally, and then grow
Right.
him some hair and some beard. Like I don't get it, but you know what? Why not?
Just whatever. Like that's as far as I'm going with it. Just whatever.
Yeah.
But in
And
terms of how he was in this compared to the Amazing Spider-Man 2, he was better in this.
yes, he was better in this. I feel like he's one of my least one of the villains I enjoyed less in this movie. Just
Yeah.
because out of all of them, he felt, apart from maybe Lizard, he felt most like I'm just a bad guy. I want to do bad things.
Yeah.
Do
I
you know
mean,
what I
'cause
mean?
that's what his character is.
Yeah, but like there was more to it in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think, because he was like, I want to get revenge on the people that wronged me. But in this, he's like, I just want power so I can do evil things, and that's
Yeah.
so I did enjoy that less. Something I found very funny. We had quite a long conversation in our Amazing Spider-Man 2 episode about his weird like addiction to Spider-Man and like talking to him in the mirror. That's a lot more funny when you just think that Electro assumed that he was a black guy.
Yeah, that is funny.
And he's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go down. When I get back to my own world, I'm gonna take down those pictures.
Um yeah, I mean, I feel like this villain's done better in this one, but I mean, it's not saying a lot because
Yeah,
the first one is not very
Lizard.
good.
I think it's done worse in this one.
Me too.
I just, yeah, I
I
don't.
don't I
It
don't like
doesn't
the new
look.
design.
I even feel like it looks better in the Amazing Spider-Man. Like he looks
It
better.
does. There are some really shady shots of the lizard in this one.
Yeah, and like I enjoy the comedy of him being like, I just want to turn everyone to lizards. I think that works for comedic relief.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you're gonna reduce any of the characters to a one-note joke, I think it's okay to do that with the lizard because I'm pretty sure in the Amazing Spider-Man episode we agreed that he's like the most forgettable.
Yeah, easily.
So turning him into a joke like that, I don't mind.
But like his character design looks so weird.
Yeah.
Which I think kind of I don't think any of the villains that we see in this are from the universes we've seen.
It's interesting.
Like, I don't think the lizard is from the Amazing Spider-Man. I think it's a slightly
Yeah.
parallel universe where it's a little because, like, if you think about it, that coat that Doc Ock wears, he'd never wear that coat in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, that's true.
So I wouldn't be surprised if it's like just like a little bit different.
Yeah, he lives in a world where his arms are CGI instead of puppets. That's the difference.
Right. And then there's let's move on to the next one while we're at it.
Something I was just about to say
Oh, sorry.
about Lizard is just if we talk about the cures for him, like he'd been cured, but like, are we sure he's not just going to go and make himself Lizard potion again? You know,
The whole cure thing is weird.
I like it as a plot detail, but I wanted more details on it because number one, when do they return back to in their world? Did they disappear just the moment before death? Was it an hour before death? If it was just the moment before death, Norman Osborn is now definitely dead because he's got a glider flying towards him and he's just a normal man.
Right.
It's like, okay, we fixed you. Let's send you back. They all just die instantaneously. Do you know what I mean? Like, and does that create 3 different realities now?
Well, this is what I'm thinking. I think this takes place. Well, it has to take place after Loki, because if there's multiple timelines.
But saying something takes place after Loki also doesn't make a lot of sense because Loki took place in the far future, or the thing about Loki is when he goes, the multiverse is now open. When did the multiverse open in comparison to the rest of the Spider-Man timeline?
Well, I think. Well, once we see the timeline open in Loki, it just opened, but it's been open forever. I
Yeah.
think.
So
So like
confusing.
it is very confusing, but I think like people are saying like they've seen like TVA jokes. I don't think that TVA is really a thing anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel, yeah, What If is like the one definitive post um Loki thing and this. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But how I just, do you know what I mean? When I'm like, how can something be post Loki when the multiverse opened up? That was at the end of time.
No, I definitely
It's
it like
confusing.
everything is after Loki, but nothing is after Loki.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah. I just, it'd be quite funny if they did return back and they just immediately died. Do you know what I mean? Like Electro
That would
just
be
had
funny.
thousands of volts of electricity just burst into his normal body, and he's just like,
You're-
oh. Or like Peter Parker just punches Norman Osborn once and kills him because he thought he still had superpowers.
Um,
I want to see the world where Doc Ock becomes the good guy, though.
me too. Or like and like survives.
Yeah.
Last one.
Sandman. Weird
Sandman.
that he's just a Sandman the entire time.
Well, I think they did this because Thomas Hayden Church looks super different now.
Yeah, I didn't even know if it was his voice most of the time. Do you know what I mean?
It was his voice.
Okay.
And I found it super weird how at the end they just used Spider-Man 3 footage.
Yeah. I the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, that's a nice homage to that shot. And then I was like, wait, do you know what I mean? Like the first time I saw that, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a nice callback. But it was just,
They just took it from the movie.
I think they flipped it.
No,
Did they not?
nope, it's the same hand.
Nice. Weird. And it was, yeah, I don't know. But like they de-aged everyone else. Do you know what I mean?
I think they didn't de-age Thomas Hayden Church because he looks so different now.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. What was I about to say? I think the amount of secrecy surrounding this movie hurts its actual production in some ways, because like there were a couple scenes on the second viewing where I was like, wait, these people aren't together. Well, a big one is I'm confident the first time Tom meets Peter and Andrew, Tom meets Toby and Andrew, I don't think they're all in the same place. I think Toby and Andrew are on one set, and then Tom is on a different set.
Maybe.
And like there's just moments like that where I feel like they just felt like quite distant on two different levels.
Well, I mean that's definitely possible. It didn't really resonate with me that was happening. I wasn't like, oh my god, what the heck?
But I had similar moments with that with like Sandman when I was like the voice just.
Yes, the Sandman. I think Sandman might have been the worst.
Yeah, that's definitely I think maybe not the worst, but the biggest downgrade.
Yeah, I mean like the worst out of the ones that appeared.
Him or Lizard, I'm not sure. And then, but I don't know, because I just, at least like Sandman was the one character I was worried most about seeing in this movie, because I thought he's the one with like the most depth who they might just change into a generic bad guy. And at least they kept stuff about, oh, I want to go home to see my daughter.
Yeah, I think it was cool how like he wasn't really a part of the other villains. Like he just wanted the box.
He still had his motive. They still kept, yeah. So for that reason, I feel more inclined to say I prefer him to like Electro or Lizard, where Electro is just like, ah ha ha, I want power.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong.
I
think it's definitely the biggest downgrade, though.
Mysterio. No Mysterio in this movie.
No Mysterio, no Vulture, very little Tom Hardy.
Oh yeah, that Tom Hardy. That was so weird.
What are they doing now? Because they just sent him back. Like, is he not going to meet?
Who knows?
And like it doesn't make okay. I feel like the ending of Doctor Strange 2 is going to do some weird stuff with the multiverse, which opens up possibilities to him coming back and stuff like that. But I didn't even want to. I'm not that interested. I feel no attachment. If they went, we're never going to see Tom Hardy's Venom again, I wouldn't care.
I'd be a little bummed, but I wouldn't be like,
Yeah.
oh no, not Tom Hardy. I'd just be like,
If they went, oh, we're not going to see, we're going to have a different version of Eddie Brock. If they went, oh, we're going to have a different version of Venom in the MCU, and we're not going to see Tom Hardy again, I'll be like, okay.
like, oh, all right.
I'd be a bit worried depending what they do with Dr. Michael Morbius, but
It's so weird what they're doing with Morbius. It's even so weirder now. I don't understand. I was 100% convinced that this movie was going to end in just like multiversal chaos.
Yeah, okay, an issue, if we're talking about issues I had with this movie, perhaps the biggest is I feel like the ending, like the resolution to the issue kind of came out of nowhere.
What do you mean?
Where Peter Parker kind of went, oh, can you not just make everyone forget who I am? And Doctor Strange's like, yeah, sure. I feel like, I don't know, I'm not sure specifically what I would change to improve it. But to me, that just felt like a bit of a weak element to the movie. They're kind of like, oh yeah, this is the resolution to the issue.
Well, I mean, I didn't like it. Didn't take me out of the movie. I was just like, oh, okay, that's what they have to do.
Yeah, just when Tom went, oh, can you not do this? I was expecting Doctor Strange to be like, no, of course I can't do that, you idiot. Do you know what I mean?
Are you stupid?
I felt to me, I don't know. I felt like I was expecting more to happen. I don't know. I'm not sure what it was specifically. I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, that's that.
Well, when the first time I was watching it, I was kind of just like, I hadn't been able to pick up my jaw off the floor yet. So I didn't even blink twice about it. I was just like, all right, that's what they have to do.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. And it's going to be very interesting how they talk about this in Doctor Strange 2, where Wong's like, oh, so why did you like completely frick up the multiverse and like create this movie? And then Doctor Strange's like, because Peter couldn't go to college. Do you know what I mean? Like, how are they gonna, like, depending what Doctor Strange opens up the MCU to, is the next big threat in the MCU going to be caused by Peter Parker not being able to go to college? And like the thing is, okay, here's a nitpick about this movie. Why wouldn't they? Okay, actually, before we talk about this, another issue I had with this movie is how quickly they just brushed over the whole murder thing.
What murder thing?
Where they're like, oh, this guy murdered Mysterio. He's arrested. That's in all the trailers and everything. And then all you need is... I feel like at the first viewing, I was kind of caught up in Charlie Cox not to notice.
Right.
But I feel like they just brushed that plot point aside a bit too easily.
Yeah.
Because they made, even in the movie, they made such a big deal about all of them being arrested.
Right. I thought it was going to be a much larger thing than it was.
Yeah, and then I'm kind of like, oh, they're not. And then the thing is, no one in this universe before Peter Parker has ever had a secret identity. So why does MIT be like, oh no, you're not allowed in because you're a superhero and everyone hates you? Because I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I'm just a bit like, why is this an issue here? Why don't they just get Sam Wilson, Captain America, to show up and be like, oh, this guy saved the universe? Just, do you know what I mean?
Well, I think I think to be fair, that's where it lies, where like some people are like, Mysterio, like we have video proof of Spider-Man doing all this, and then the other team is like, but that doesn't make sense because look at all the good he's done for the world. Yeah. So that's where it comes into.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one for me, just because none of them. I don't know, it's just my thought. Yeah.
Well, they brush over it pretty quickly to the point where it's like,
oh, that was my issue, that they kind of just did not.
Right, but then you can't even get mad about it because they don't even talk about it. That's how that works, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I just some of the I don't think the action is as good. As
you don't think the action is good?
As good as
as
the Raimi stuff, yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of. I mean, I don't think the movies have ever been good enough.
Yeah.
In regards of action.
Another small complaint I had is like for the first 20, maybe 30 minutes, I felt like the pacing was a bit. I don't know. for like the first 10 minutes, especially, I was like, oh, what kind of pace it like? I wasn't happy. I don't know what to say. What words used. Just the pacing felt a bit off.
Yeah.
This is just me nitpicking to say,
Right. It is you nitpicking to be like, this movie isn't perfect.
Yeah.
Do you think it deserves a 95% Rotten Tomatoes?
It's an interesting. There are a lot of movies which I think would have lower than that, and I think deserve more. And there are movies. Do you know what I mean?
Well, don't look at any other. Think about this movie in particular.
Sure.
Do you think this is a 95%?
I think I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4.5 on Letterboxd, which is obviously a 90. So 95%. Sure, yeah. Like if I was going specific, I haven't changed my rating since I've watched it a second time, but I'm tempted to go up to 5. I'm just not sure at the moment. So I would be at a 95 myself.
I think I'm at a 95 too.
Honestly, I'm not sure if I prefer this or Shang-Chi, which I know is probably a bit controversial.
Oh, I definitely prefer this over Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
I prefer this over Shang-Chi because I love Shang-Chi, but it definitely falls into the category of typical Marvel movie a little bit.
Yeah.
And this one is it's much more daring and goes for a lot more things, I feel.
Yeah. Okay. So, what next? I mean, we talked about this pretty much the entire time, but they're gonna have to bring Andrew and Toby back. They will. I'm convinced
they didn't kill them. They didn't kill them.
And they didn't get they didn't even get like a farewell or anything. They were kind of like, okay, bye.
Yep. I would be very surprised if Sony isn't like, when they were on set, they're like, hey, now that you're here.
It's going to be like 5 or 6 years perhaps down the line until we see them again. Or maybe it's going to be a few months and we'll see them in Multiverse of Madness.
That's true.
Would you be surprised if you saw them in Multiverse of Madness?
Yes, I'd be very surprised.
That's cool. I'm really, I don't know why I've got this in my head, but I'm like, James McAvoy's going to be in it. It's just something in my brain is telling me that.
Maybe he's reading your mind.
Maybe it's just my gut instinct. I'm like, James McAvoy's going to be in it.
I feel like that would be the most realistic one to do.
I don't think Hugh Jackman will be in this one, but I think he's going to come back.
He probably will. I don't want him to personally.
That's interesting. Not even what if they were like, let's put him in his normal suit and get him to meet like Spider-Man and that sort of thing.
I don't know, because I just love Hugh Jackman.
And I came up with such a good idea for my Raimi Spider-Man 4 pitch, but I won't tell you.
Well, once I make my videos, I'll look at your videos.
Thanks. I probably won't post that one till like Wednesday, to be fair.
Well, I probably won't make my first video till Wednesday, to be fair.
Oh, so. Wow. Wow. Okay. Doctor Strange 2 trailer.
Cool. I wasn't expecting to see that. What do they call it? Like the evil Strange.
Is that the one from What If? Is the question.
I feel like it has to be.
But at the end of What If, he wasn't set up as like an evil Doctor Strange. He was just like, oh, I'm a good guy now, and I'm guarding this. But then it's weird if they introduce another evil Doctor Strange.
Who knows? But they do show a clip of like his loved one coming back.
Yeah. Like a wedding, yeah.
Right.
With Christine Palmer, but obviously she's still alive and everything in the mainline MCU.
Right. So it wouldn't surprise me if like he comes back to this universe.
Yeah.
Where she is alive, and I don't know.
You got what's his name? Mordo with cool dreads.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm excited to see more Wanda, I think, as well.
Oh yeah, that should be cool. And it's cool how they addressed Westview and those.
But I'm interested to see what they do, because that moment I'm kind of like, wait, Doctor Strange knew the entire time, and he was kind of like, yeah.
Well, he probably knew that he could do jack squat.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's an interesting one, because like the second Loki arrives on Earth in Thor Ragnarok, Doctor Strange is like, got you. What's happening here? But then he's like, oh, he sees Wanda like enslave an entire town, and he's like, this will sort itself out.
Well, he probably had to like get back to like.
Also, he wasn't sorcerer. Maybe Wong told him, just leave it, you know?
Yeah, just like she'll kill you.
I do really like Wong.
Who doesn't love Wong?
It's so good in Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other thoughts on Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness?
No.
American Chavez. Don't really know anything about her, but
Yeah, it was weird that they had her in the trailer.
yeah, I feel like you had to give us a glimpse of her, but like it was weird how she was just in the background of every shot.
Yeah, which means she has to be a pretty big part of this movie, though.
Yeah.
They can't cut her out.
Okay. I had another thought. Do you want to hear my what if pitch for an episode of What If? I don't. It would be what if Peter went to someone else for help, and like perhaps he went to like Hank Pym or something like that, and he travels back in time and stops it instead, and like he solves his problem through time travel. I feel like that would be an interesting what if episode.
That would be interesting, but Hank Pym would probably be like, "That's not how it works."
Yeah, they could. I mean, what if was good at? I think like all the what if episodes were like, we want this to happen. How can we? What plot contrivances can we do to get to this point?
Yeah. I wonder if like Marvel execs are looking at what if episodes as to what they should go for next.
Yeah.
So they're like, got Doctor Strange, all right, let's go with that one.
Yeah, I feel like we both agree that like what if is like somewhere is like fine. Like it's
Yeah,
not,
what if it's fine.
but I'm excited to see Phase 4 stuff in What If. Like
Yeah.
Shang-Chi and Eternals and WandaVision and Loki and well,
That'll be cool.
I'm looking forward to that. But I think that's all my thoughts on every Spider-Man thing ever.
I'm sure we're missing things.
Who's your second favorite Spider-Man? I don't know who my second favorite. For those of you who don't know who listening, you probably figured it out from the conversation. But Garfield's my favorite, and what Holland's your favorite?
Sorry, what was that? What?
You
What
do
was
realize
that?
people listen to this on audio only.
Yeah, but
For everyone, he is. I was trying to think of a joke to say, but none of them were appropriate.
showing off my
He's-
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man tattoo.
Yeah, thank you, Tobey Maguire's. Okay, who's your second favorite?
I
don't know who my second favorite is. But before this movie, I would have 100% gone Maguire.
feel like Tom and Andrew are tied for me.
I feel like Toby and Tom are tied for me. Before this movie, I definitely would have gone Toby.
Before this movie, I definitely would have gone Andrew.
See, we're on very similar pages, just different books. Okay, how would you rank them by movie? I think I'd go Maguire, Holland, Garfield. And I think you're about to agree.
Wait, in like terms of their movies?
Yeah.
And you went Maguire, Holland, Garfield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one because this is, I don't know, a much more consistent trilogy.
Well.
Okay.
I actually would disagree with that.
It's interesting.
I would say Maguire is the most consistent.
Yeah, you would. Okay.
Well, no, because No Way Home is so different than the other.
Yeah,
two.
that's true. I meant consistent in like quality, not like.
Then this one is the most.
Is this the best MCU trilogy? We have Iron Man, Thor, Captain America. That's it, isn't it? Yeah. I think it is.
I know. I don't.
Captain America.
I think Captain America takes it just because, like, if I were to rank, like, Homecoming, I really like Homecoming. Far From Home, I like a little bit less. And then No Way Home is great.
No, to be fair, you've got a point because I think Captain America trilogy has two of the best MCU movies in it. I feel like that's quite universally
And some would argue
agreed.
3.
Yeah, but I think especially those 2 and 3 are two of like easily like top 10 MCU movies.
Yeah.
And while this trilogy has one of the best instead of 2, so I think I'd agree. I think I would go. I don't know what I prefer out of Iron Man or Thor.
Iron Man.
Do you?
Because I like Iron Man, I like Iron Man 2, and I like Iron Man 3. I'm not a big fan of Thor. I'm definitely not a big fan of Dark World.
I rewatched Iron Man 2 and I didn't like it. But you're right. Iron Man, Thor is bad and Thor 2 is bad. Not bad, but they're not great. So I think I'd agree, actually.
Yeah.
Because I really love the first Iron Man movie.
So, but in ranking, I would go number 1, Captain America, number 2, Spider-Man, number 3, Iron Man, number 4, Thor.
Yeah, and then soon we'll have Ant-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ooh, that'll be interesting.
Guardians of the Galaxy might take number 1.
Maybe.
If the third movie is as good as the second one, I think it's in the top spot for me.
I like the second movie, but it didn't do as much for me as the Winter Soldier did, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I always said I didn't like the second one as much, and then I rewatched it recently and I was like, no, this is a great movie. It's just not
I don't understand people that hate on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is probably still my favorite MCU movie. Is No Way Home your favorite MCU movie?
Yes.
Okay. And is Civil War second, isn't it?
Yeah, Civil War used to be number 1.
Guardians of the Galaxy is probably still my favorite, I think. Cool.
All right.
That went on for a while, but you're welcome.
How long did that go on for? Like an hour 30?
No, probably maybe like an hour 10, hour 15.
Okay.
Okay. Spider-Man No Way Home. Anything we're forgetting? It'd be funny if we hadn't mentioned like Tobey Maguire at all or something. We're like,
oh no.
I think that's everything.
I think that is everything. Look at
Tell
us.
Your thoughts.
Yeah, tell us your thoughts in the comments.
Find
down
us
below.
in public.
Yeah, find us. I wore my orange hat to the premiere.
Did you?
Like, I hope somebody recognizes me, and nobody did. The only reason I want to be recognized is because you've been recognized.
Most of the time I'm recognized, it's later, like the next day, someone on TikTok comments, I saw you in this place today. And then I'm like, oh, okay, why didn't you come say hello? Like, it's very rare someone comes up to me like, are you Dean?
Are you Dean Beans?
And every time I'm incredibly awkward.
Oh,
but please do it. Please still do it if you... Okay, cool.
All right.
Thanks everyone for listening.
Adios. Everybody.
What are we doing next week? I don't know.
I think it's Silver Lining.
We'll talk about a bad movie. Let's talk about Spider-Man No Way Home because this movie was utter garbage.
Wait.
That was a joke. Please don't insult me in my comments again. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Adios. Mamma mia!
Spider-Man No Way
Home. It was a movie.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh, what am I doing
good.
with my life?